Hey everybody, welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is Sunday and it's time for another weekly recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is season 12, episode 20, and it is titled More Love, More Problems. Alright, so they are back in Atlanta. They open up with Nene. She kind of walking over there with her like little model walk or whatever to Greg, talking about look at my long brown legs or whatever, and Greg clowning with her and stuff. He says he's busy with what is it, American Cancer Society and stuff like that, but he is overall healthy, which is good. Then they kind of talk about the trip. So she tells them like it was some good and bad of the Greece trip, and she was saying how like she was trying to embrace Kenya after the divorce and everything like that. But she really wasn't feeling it and stuff. And then she was saying like she don't really dislike Kenya, but she was just being petty because Kenya was being petty with her. So basically, tick for tack. Basically, that's what she says. And then she was telling Greg on how Kenya is kind of the whole comment on the Buffalo thing. So she was saying like that's why Kenya don't really like her or whatever because of the whole Buffalo comment and stuff. And Greg was like, that's it. It was over that comment and stuff. And she like, yeah, because she know I wasn't talking about her. She know I was talking about not her. She know I wasn't talking about that baby. I was talking about her because I said hello to her or something at the party. She wouldn't talk. So I was like, oh well, she must be having a buffalo or whatever like that. And she was saying like after that, Kenya was all like, well, anybody talk about my kids or my husband, they off limits. And then they started, bravo on their little shady asses. They started showing flashbacks of when Kenya was, being in other people's marriages. Portia with Cordell, the whole Portia being his beard, shady. I'm gonna just say shady. Shady. And then the thing where what else was she being petty about? It was somebody else thing on marriage. It was Portia and I know it was Phaedra, but I don't think they showed that one. What was the reason? I can't remember which recent one they showed. But anyway, and then of course Tanya, like she be shady on everybody goddamn marriage or whatever. But then when it comes to her marriage, it's you can't be talking about this, you can't be talking about that. So the hypocrisy of it all. She was basically talking to Greg about that, and Greg was looking all confused and stuff, and he was just like basically like just move on, like just move on. You don't fuck with her, like what else is there? Just move on, type thing. And that's all their scene was. Then we see Todd and Candy. And Todd and Candy had a lot of scenes this episode, which I was kind of, I was glad they did because they really had like a storyline more so than just talk about the restaurants and stuff like that. So I'll get into that later. But this right here, Todd and Candy, they're talking. She come in, she tossed her clothes all on the floor and she packing because she gotta go to Chicago because she filming for the show or whatever. And she was saying that the baby was going to be there in 7 weeks, but she got to be in Chicago to film for about 10 weeks. So that's the overlap right there. And she was saying like she excited to be on TV. And Ty, he her biggest supporter and stuff like that. So he like, well, we'll figure it out and stuff like that. But she want to be back in time for the baby because she like, well, the baby... Because, surrogate and stuff like that. So, typically when you're pregnant and stuff, you talk to your belly, the baby hear your voice and blah, blah, blah. Or, I don't know, child, because I don't remember utero, so I don't know if I heard my mama's voice or not, whatever. But anyway, she's saying, like, she don't really have that bond with the baby like you would if she was carrying the baby. So she wants to be there as soon as the baby is born to, have that baby hear her voice and bond and stuff like that. So she's, contemplating on how to do that and stuff like that. And then she tells Todd that she wants to do a marital counseling session. And he like, well, why are we doing that? And she was like, well, we've been kind of rocky a little bit. So I want to have a session before it gets bad, which is smart. Like, you don't want to wait until it's like, what else was we gonna do but this, and then y'all both mad and in this mood and stuff like that. Like, if you starting to feel like you got a problem and y'all two can't solve it on your own, then I think it was good that she, said that she wanted to do the counseling and stuff, and he was with it, so that was positive. Then we see Cynthia. She go down to Swag Boutique to see Nene. Why they had the same goddamn cheetah print on? I said, Lord, this is an episode of Tiger King again. But anyway, They both had child. And then while they was talking, we saw a Range Rover pull up, but they didn't show who was in the car or whatever until like at the end of the scene or whatever. But anyway, Cynthia and Nene, they just talking, and Nene was telling Cynthia that she was upset with Cynthia. She was like, well, I was upset with you, girl, at that last night or whatever, because, you know, all that what you was doing with the shade and stuff like that, I really wasn't feeling you. And Cynthia was like, well, girl, I wasn't going to shade you. I was going to do you real good, Miss Leaks or whatever. So Nene was like, well, show me what you was going to do, girl. Show me what you was going to do. So then Cynthia was, you know, she was just acting like Nene, basically like, yeah, girl, because I am that bitch, and I am the HBIC and the long legs. So she was just doing that and stuff. It was kind of cute or whatever like that. And she was like acting like she was head out the door and stuff like that. You know, Cynthia, she was still acting and stuff. And then we see Portia. We see the person who was in the black Range Rover. It was Portia. She was going to the pharmacy because, you know, her and Nene live in the same neighborhood and stuff. And it was funny because Portia was like, oh, y'all having another cheetah luncheon and y'all ain't invite me, or animal print luncheon and y'all ain't invite me. And they was like, girl. But so they was just laughing and stuff. And then Portia invited them to her. Well, not invited them, but she was just basically like, I want y'all to be at my event, because she was having a March of Dimes event where it was to what was it to, because she's going to be the celebrity ambassador of the March of Dimes. And it's for basically supporting moms who have problems with fertility and stuff like that. So she is inviting like all the girls to come out there and, you know, like a little cute little get together type thing. But to have them share their stories and talk and, you know, real nice type thing. So she was inviting them today. And then that's all they really did in the parking lot. They hugged, they said goodbye, and that was it. Then we see Kenya. She is with was she a real estate not a planner, but like a lawyer or something? I really was confused on that lady's role, because I know it said real estate something, but I didn't really feel like rewinding it to see exactly what she was. So y'all let me know what she was down there. But anyway, Kenya met with her before, and they was going over all their affairs and stuff, because, you know, Kenya does not have a prenup with Mark. So she's trying to get all her affairs in order, and she's not sure, you know, if she's going to get divorced or separate from, or, you know, work on getting back together. And last I heard, they were trying to work on their marriage. I'm not sure, but that's the last I heard. I haven't heard anything since then. But the lady was just basically talking about what they was going to do and who was going to be the trustee, basically. And Kenya said that both her and Mark agreed on her Aunt Lisa being a trustee for Brooklyn. But she don't want Mark to have no parts in the money and nothing like that. She just basically want Aunt Lisa to handle everything type thing. So they get in there all situated. So that's all taken care of. Because before, she didn't really know who was going to be the trustee or help out with Baby Brooklyn, but I guess they figured out that Aunt Lisa was going to, you know, take care of everything. So that's all they was basically talking about in the I want to say she was a lawyer. She was basically like, well, I'll get back with you with the paperwork and stuff, and we'll start filling that out. And that was it for them. Then we see Candy. She called inside to, you know, talk. Baby Ace was there. They was playing like some little game or something, and Candy was talking about photo shoots or something. And Ty was like, you know, you want to talk to mommy and stuff. And Ace was just like, I do want to talk to mommy. And then he started crying. And she like, oh, why are you crying and stuff? And he said he wanted his mommy. So he basically missed Candy, because she went to Greece. I don't even know how long she was back from Greece before she had to go to Chicago. And she's saying like she only has to work a few days out of the week in Chicago. So every day that she's off, she kind of flies back to Atlanta and stuff. But still, like, she not there all the time with him, so he missing her or whatever like that. But she working, and, you know, I mean, she got a lot of money, but I mean, she's trying to continue to gain, you know, build her empire and stuff for her children and stuff like that. And children at that age, they don't understand that, and they can make you feel, child, if you got anybody out there got kids, they will make you feel some type of way when you leave to go to work. I remember when my youngest was little, I used to work from home for quite a while, for like 5 years. And then I got a job working outside the house. And she was like, you gotta go to work again. Like, she didn't really understand. Like, I had to go, to work every day outside of the house because I was in the house all the time. So she was all sad and stuff. But they don't understand at that age. So she got to kind of, be more present with Ace and then kind of explain like this is what mommy's doing and so forth like that. So it was kind of sad and stuff. And of course Candy felt sad because she really wasn't there, and she said she felt like she was a bad mom and she really has to figure out the whole work-life balance type thing or whatever. And so she said she loved him to him and hung up, and Ty was there to console little baby Ace. I was like, oh, little Ace. And then we see Eva, because we ain't see Eva in what, 2-3 weeks. Well, they did have her on a FaceTime. I'm sorry, y'all, my throat is so dry. They had her on a FaceTime for one of the videos or whatever. What was they in Greece when she was on the FaceTime? I don't remember. But anyway, she back in person, in live, in real life. So we see her. She done had the baby, little baby Maverick. She's doing professional photos of the baby. She said he was like 5 pounds or so he was small. Then she said she was in labor. Child, she said this was the shortest labor that she been in. I'm expecting her to say like 2-3 hours. She said 22 hours. Bitch, that ain't short. It's not short. But she was induced or whatever, because they were showing like little videos of her being in labor and stuff. And I was like, 22, girl. But then she said she want to have 5 kids, but she don't know if she want to have them out her belly, because like apparently she keep having these long ass labors and stuff like that. So she trying to reevaluate how she gonna have them other 2 kids, because she already got 3. So she trying to, see how she gonna have them other 2 kids. But anyway, Cynthia, she gets there and she like, hey, look, thank you for taking care of my baby. Thank you, give him to me and stuff, because he was asleep and stuff. So she hugged the mama and stuff, and was telling the mom to tell Eva, look, can you tell her not to have no more kids for at least a year so we can cut up together and you have some cocktails or something like that. And so the mama was like, well, from your mouth to God's ears or whatever. So that was cute. And then Cynthia, of course, started telling Eva about the trip to Greece and, how it was hot and cold or whatever, and how Nene and Portia made up, how she was being shaded by Kenya. And she told us something else, child. Oh, how she was, how Nene was kind of interjecting on how the whole Cynthia apology went type thing. And Eva, she was tearing up some fruit. And so I said, girl, she still eating like she pregnant. But because she was tearing that goddamn fruit up. Did y'all see her? Yeah, she was like, oh, okay, well, it sounded like it was a kumbaya or whatever. And, what happened? Oh, she was telling about the argument between Nene and Kenya, and Eva was like, what, huh? Spit on? That's grounds for being beat up or whatever, getting your ass beat type thing. And I'm like, yeah, for real, because child, that's nasty. Especially in today's But anyway, she was basically telling about that. And then she opened up the gift that she gave Eva. And it was like a little Tiffany's piggy bank or whatever like that. That was it for them. Then we had the event for Portia. It was real cute. Portia came in. She on this cute little pink dress and stuff. And she met the CEO of the March of Dimes and the director of the March of Dimes. And they was basically telling her, like how the event was going to go. They had it set up real cute. And the rainbow balloons. Because I think that's for, not only for like, LGB, but what is it, like miracle babies type thing? I can't think, like is it miscarriage, or is either miscarriages or miracle babies, but it's not called miracle babies, it's called something else, I can't think of it. But that they had the little rainbow, then they had like everything else, and they had like a nice little setup for dinner. Everybody was there. She had all her family there, her cousins, her aunts, everybody was there minus Eva, but Eva just had the baby, so she was kind of relaxing and stuff like that. Nene wanted to bring some gossip, talking about some Kenya ex-husband or estranged husband had multiple affairs and stuff, and Portia don't believe the blog. Tanya was like, well, maybe it was the cookie lady. Nene like, well, Kenya worried about Tanya and her husband. Why she ain't worried about all these multiple affairs and stuff like that? She needed to be worried about that before she started bringing somebody else up up in somebody else's marriage or whatever like that. And she was like, well, Tanya, she brought the cookie lady to you. Won't you go on here and find this lady and plop her in front of Kenya? I thought that shit was funny. And it would be interesting. But Tanya ain't that type of person, so she wouldn't do nothing like that. And like I said, Portia ain't believe it, so that was kind of squashed there. Then on the other side, Candy was with Kenya and Cynthia and Shamia had walked up, and she was telling them about the little sex scene and stuff. And she was like, it was hot and heavy. It was real risque. It was a lot of flipping and all this other stuff. And they had to keep redoing it over and over again. So the way she's talking about it, I can't wait to see the show. Okay. Then they went to go sit down. And she was saying Ty was not happy about the sex scene. So we need to keep that. Just remember that. And then they start going to the table to sit down and stuff. And then Portia was basically like, well, I want to have like a little conversation. Everybody talk and stuff. And then she starts telling them about how she had a miscarriage 6 years ago at home by herself. I was like, oh my goodness, Portia. And everybody was like, what? And, she started telling her story and saying like she hasn't really talked about it openly to everybody because she was ashamed and stuff like that. But if she would have knew that it was okay and like a lot of women go through this, then she would have been able to share her story and help other women and stuff. So that's what she wanted to do. And then Tanya started talking about her situation, not being able to have children right away and having like one egg and stuff. And then Kenya was in her confessional saying that it's difficult to have kids, or she almost lost her life when she was pregnant with Brooklyn. And you shouldn't really shame anybody who can have children and stuff. So I was like, but you didn't shame. Okay. Cause then she said, I don't know. Because Tanya felt some type of way about the whole egg situation. But I don't know if Tanya was kind of blowing it up or if she really did feel uncomfortable. And then she be going back and forth with Marlo about stuff like you don't got your own kids and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching, but I don't know. But at any rate, she was saying like you shouldn't really shame no woman and stuff like that because being a woman is not a guarantee that you can have children. And that's the truth. That's why I don't like when people be like, oh, well, you 30 years old or whatever. Why you don't have no kids no more? Like, you don't know that woman's story. Like, you don't know if she been trying to have kids. You don't know if was pregnant and she lost a child. Like, you don't know. Like, people are so insensitive, and like that's why I hate when people say stuff like that. Like, oh, well, you 40 years old and you don't got no kids. Why you ain't had no kids? Like, and then they be calling the woman selfish because she ain't had no children. Like, you don't know that woman's story. So I really wish people stop saying that to women like that because you really don't know someone's situation. Because look at Marlo. Marlo was saying like she wanted to have children. She was pregnant twice, but they were both ectopic pregnancies, and she was like questioning like what was her place in life because she couldn't really have children and stuff like that. And then she was saying she got 16 nieces and nephews, and right now she's taking care of her 2 nephews, or I think it might be more, but right now she's taking care of her nephews and stuff. So she was brought that piece or whatever to say like, oh, okay, maybe this is why I'm here, to be a momty to my nephews, or and to care for my nieces and nephews like that. But she was feeling some type of way because she didn't really feel like a woman because she really couldn't get pregnant and stuff. So like situations like you don't know anyone's story. And then Shamia was saying like she was having like her water broke. She was telling about her story about, delivering and stuff like that. And she was saying like after she had the baby, she I guess she was hemorrhaging or something. They couldn't, like, her blood wouldn't clot and stuff like that. So they was having difficulties doing that. So that was scary for her or whatever. So then and I understood that because I hemorrhaged after all my children too. So I understood that. Then Kenya, I didn't really see the relevance of why she brought it up, but anyway, she was like, yeah, because I remember when you had called me and you had said your water broke, and I was like, well, where's your husband and stuff like that. And I mean, maybe Portia, she probably was at work or whatever like that. So, and then they was just like sharing and stuff, and then Portia was just looking like, what? You called her? Like, and she said something in her confessional because she was like, I didn't know they was that close. to like, why would that be the first person she called when her water broke or whatever? So that's gonna be something. I think that's gonna come up in another episode about that, because you could just see on her face she was kind of like, you ain't called me, I'm supposed to be your bestie, you called Kenya, like what's up with that? But Shamia was basically saying like her and Kenya was pregnant around the same time. But I thought Portia was pregnant. Weren't they all pregnant around the same time? Like Shamia, Portia, Eva. I think Eva was early in her pregnancy, maybe. I thought all of them was like pregnant around the same time. But at any rate, Shamia was like, well, Kenya was pregnant and they was pregnant close together. So that's why she called her and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's going to come up again. But at any rate, everybody, and then Nene said she had a miscarriage, but she didn't share hers out in the group. She said it in the confessional. And I think that was it. And then the director, CEO, gave Portia like this little portrait or something like that. And then that was the end of that. Then we see Kenya with her aunt. And, she's stressed and going through a lot of stuff. And then her aunt was basically telling her, like, do you know what you're going to do with Mark? Like, if y'all going to rekindle it or y'all going to just call it quits and stuff. And she was like, she don't know. But right now she focused on what's best for Brooklyn. And she was telling the aunt, like, how she signed her up for, to be her beneficiary. And if anything would happen to her, like, she's to take care of Brooklyn and so forth. And the aunt was real honored and stuff and said that she'll do, the best that she can do. And the aunt seemed like she was real grounded and stuff like that. So I don't see that's going to be a problem at all. And that was basically it for that. Like, the aunt was basically telling her, like, you don't deserve to be in a relationship where you just can't be yourself. Because Kenya was saying, like, she just put herself on the back burner. Like, she really couldn't communicate with him openly and stuff like that. And she really couldn't be herself type thing. And then what had puzzled me was she was saying in her confessional, like, her getting a divorce or being separated from her husband is like being separated from, kind of like she was like she lost a person to talk to all the time and that relationship. So it was sounding like a friend type thing. But then to her aunt, she was saying like she couldn't really communicate with him. So that's not really like a friend. Like, if you can't communicate with your friend and that friend don't value you and like honor you and respect you, like, that's not a friend. And that's not a spouse. That's not a boyfriend. That's not a nothing. Like, she needed to just call, like, look, pack his stuff up and send it. Because he's a whole ass. But at any rate, her aunt was basically like, you don't deserve that. And she was honored that she would be, taking care of Brooklyn if something were to happen to Kenya. That was pretty much it. Then we get to Candy. And this is the part I was saying, like, they had like a real conversation. I think this is the realest conversation that they've had all season and in a while on TV, if I'm not mistaken. But Candy came home and she was talking about her full schedule and stuff like that. And she was saying like, cause she was like, well, what you got on your schedule and stuff? And she was like, well, I gotta host this, Rock Nation luncheon and stuff like that, but she ain't really want to do it and stuff. And he was like, well, why are you doing it? And she was like, well, it would be good to kind of network with a bunch of people and stuff like that. And he was just like, oh, okay, but it would be kind of good to network with your family. And she was just like, yeah. He was like, well, it'd be a good time to kind of spend time with your family. Like, you back and forth. You're not really here all the time. You just not present. Like, you come home, but then you do stuff on your day off. You're not really spending time with your family. And she was like, well, I'm going to spend time with Ace tomorrow. And he was like, well, he going to be playing the game, so he not really going to be spending time. And she was like, well, I'm going to be there, and, we going to spend time and stuff. He was like, well, you need to make time and stuff. And so she asked him, well, can he come to the Chi? And he was like, look, I can't, or whatever, I can't come to the Chi. And she was like, well, you've been acting real weird since that whole sex scene and stuff. And he was like, well, no man really wants to see their wife up there and having a sex scene. She was like, but it's fake. And he was like, fake or not fake, nobody don't want to see their wife up on those screen doing all that stuff with another man or whatever. And child, my girlfriend probably wouldn't even let me on the set. Okay. Sexy. Like, so I understood what he's saying is not like something far-fetched or whatever. So she was just like, he was just basically like, he still don't want to see it, fake or not fake. And she was just like, she said something like she just want to do a lot of stuff. And he was like, but you can't do everything. you gotta let some of that stuff go or whatever, and like spend time with your family. And he had like a little toot and stuff, and she was basically apologizing, and she was saying like how she had she wanted to support all her friends and stuff, because she was saying Dr. Jackie had a luncheon and she wanted to kind of support, and he was like, all right, well, whatever, go ahead and support the luncheon and stuff. And then she realized like, oh, he not playing, he really got a toot. So then she was trying to apologize, and he was just like, look, and he really wasn't feeling it. So she kind of sat back, and then he was just like, look, I sacrificed everything so you can live your dreams and stuff. And he was saying like, and I think I mentioned this before, like Todd is doing a lot of stuff, and it's for like, it benefits his family and stuff like that, but it's not what he wants to do. And it's like he doing it because he's trying to prove that he is not trying to milk off of Candy. So he's trying to make all this money, and like, oh, I got this business here, this is my business, not Candy's business, I'm helping Candy with this business, but this is my venture over here. So he doing all this stuff to please Mama Joyce, and he not really happy. He like, I done got this trucking company, I don't even want to be a trucker, I'm doing all this, I don't want to do this, I want to produce and stuff. Like, I done sacrificed all my stuff to help you do your dream and stuff like that. And I'm doing stuff to prove that, what are you saying? Because he wasn't enough for her mom and the world or whatever like that. And she got up and got a tissue. Of course, you know, Candy got all emotional and stuff. And he was saying like, he making money, but it's not making him happy. He want to get back to producing, and he wants to get back to, you know, doing stuff what he did. Because remember, he was a producer on the show on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's how they met. And then, of course, he had to give that up to be with Candy. And then I don't know if he's ever gotten back into it. And she was saying, like, he was supposed to produce something, but he didn't go forth with it. And he was saying, like, he didn't want to go through with it because if he's not making, because he's not going to make as much as what he's doing now with the other businesses. So if he were to do that producing job, it may not pay him as much as what the other ventures are doing. So he doesn't want to look like he's mooching off of Candy. And I'm like, yo, Mama Joyce need to back the beep up. If she's still coming after this man after all this time, then they've been together and stuff. Like, this man works hard, like, he's smart and stuff like that. So, like, he only need to prove stuff to Candy. And Candy basically said that they are forced one together. So that's all Ty need to worry about. He need to get back to his passion. And Candy was saying like she'll support him and stuff, but she means well, and I think she has all intentions on supporting this man on his ventures and stuff like that. But if she's not there because she's doing X, Y, and Z for her career and stuff like that, how can she successfully support him and do what she wants to do and be a mom and stuff? And because it looks like Ty is really like filling in all the spots and stuff while she's away and doing all her ventures and stuff. So I kind of agree with Ty. Like, she kind of need to put some stuff on a back burner, so he can do what he needs to do, and then she can be more at home with the kids and stuff like that. So until he gets a groove with his stuff, and then she can kind of do like one thing and then focus on that one thing versus focusing on this, and this. I don't know how she do it, child, because I be overwhelmed, and I got a lot of stuff too, but I be overwhelmed, and I don't even be traveling. I don't know how she doing it. I don't know. But she apologized and stuff, and they hugged, and they said they loved each other. And she was like, now I look crazy because I gotta go do this luncheon and stuff like that. And he was just like, okay. She was like, I know we just had the conversation, but I already agreed to do it. So she was already locked in for that. But the other stuff, she need to kind of be like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm just flying in. This is my day off. I'm going to spend time with my kids or whatever like that. Especially since this new baby coming, because like, yeah. So that was pretty much it. And she walked away saying like she appreciate him for, you know, supporting her and putting up with her crazy life or whatever. So that was it. Next week it looked like they're going to be doing counseling and stuff, which I think is really good for them at this point, because I like them two together. They are real cute with their little selves. So I'm, you know, fingers crossed for them. I think they'll do fine. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Let me know how y'all felt about tonight's episode. Let me know if you like this review by hitting that thumbs up button. And what else? If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are close to 300, and I'm gonna be doing that little giveaway as soon as I reach 300. So be on the lookout for that. And what else? Oh, hit the notification bell if you are not already notified to my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and out of these streets. And if you do have to go in these streets for any type of reason, you know, if you have a mask, wear a mask. The N95 will be best, but at this point, they're kind of saying like anything goes, which is, but whatever. As long as it has a filter in it, it should be okay. If you're just going out really quick, not hand sanitize. Wash your hands and sanitize your hands if you can't get to a sink with some soap and water. All right, y'all, and enough of that. And I will try to do like a little impromptu video throughout the week since nothing really is on TV that I kind of review. I did say I would kind of check out if Loving You Is Wrong, so I'll see if I can find that on demand and watch it, or I'll just watch it on a Fire Stick. But so be on the lookout for that video. It might pop up this week or this weekend or next week. But anyway, enough me talking. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night and the rest of y'all week. Until next time, peace.